Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, good evening. Thank you for joining us for the December 11th, 2024 Public Safety Committee meeting. Um, Tonight's lineup will go as follows. Our report from our Office of Emergency Management, a bit from Business Administrator Wary, followed by our Chief of Police narrative. We're going to push the fire department report back a little bit. Um, Second, if we have folks here for discussion, I'm hoping they will be, then we'll have discussion open for any items in particular that we will be talking about our traffic safety, a little bit more about the car thefts, a little clarity on some connections, some things that have been said rumor wise on Maplewood Online and in our Facebook and social medias posts. Hopefully by then, Committeeman DeLuca will be here, and then he'll give his report from South Essex Fire Department, and then we'd move into our public comment portion of the meeting. Tonight, I would love it if we could go into executive just for a few minutes to talk about some things, and then we will return to the main room and close the meeting out until we adjourn for our meet for the next meeting on January 8th of next year. So unless anyone has anything to add or any questions about that, I give the mic to Business Administrator Wary.
Thank you, Ms. Cripe. For OEM, two items. The first, we are working with the county. They are updating their hazard mitigation plan, of which Maplewood has its own section. We had a call with them yesterday. They have a consultant working on the project who's doing actually a fair amount of the work, which is very helpful to us. So we had a call with them yesterday, going over all of our departments and in hazards, especially natural hazards. What our responses will be, what we think we would benefit from in terms of preparedness initiatives. And it's helpful both for the county to understand that, but also it's helpful for us because when the federal government looks to give out money for emergency preparedness, they consider the items that we've included in these hazard mitigation plans. So it's useful for us too as a financing tool. So we're working with them on that update. It's due in early January, so a quick turnaround, but we'll have no issue meeting that. The second piece is today, Winchester Gardens held a drill on elopement. So where somebody, one of their residents, walks off without proper approval or notification. And Mr. DeLuca and I had attended a tabletop that they held for elopement last month. This month they did a full-scale drill. Mr. DeLuca attended with the member of the police department, Sergeant Claybauer. And I know he had given some information to the township committee, and Sergeant Claybauer and Mr. DeLuca were able to give some information to Winchester Gardens. So there were some positive takeaways. I wasn't able to attend, unfortunately, but I spoke to Mr. DeLuca today about it and said there were some positive takeaways. So, that's always great for OEM with the police department to be able to participate in those things. And we're glad that Winchester Gardens reached out to invite us. That is my report.
Very cool. A quick question on that drill. Were they going to be using the Nixle alerts to send out notices of if there was an elopement, or did we not want to, or is that not being done? It would just be emails like Mr. DeLuca sent.
No, it could be done. I mean, the email that Mr. DeLuca sent was just to the township committee to make you aware of what was going on, which is something that might happen in an actual scenario. If we always have Nixle available to us for the police department to put out an alert to the public if necessary. So let's say we felt that someone had walked off of the property and may be seen in the community, among other things, we could use Nixle to ask the public to look for and notify us if they see the individual.
Okay. And then my other question, which was listed on the agenda, I know that with all this rain, obviously, I'm assuming that we are now officially out of the water restriction, or
No,
are we not yet?
no, we are not yet.
Okay.
So those continue. It will put something out probably next week reminding residents that we're still under water restriction. But yeah, we are in continuous contact with New Jersey American Water. And because the drought that we had was so long and the reservoirs and aquifers were were so low. We will likely be under water restrictions for some more time or until significant rainfall.
And that includes the ban on burns as well?
No, so that's separate from water restrictions. So the burn ban ended almost immediately after the first rain. It was actually during the first rain. I think we were just a couple hours into it when the state lifted the ban. So that's lifted.
Oh, good to hear. Thank you.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Wary?
No, but I never knew that elopement was anything other than getting married. Now it's just escaping a senior housing.
Now you know, Mr. DeLuca was nice enough to include that definition in his email to the TC. Helpful.
I wonder if I'll hear it on A Man Inside, that series on Netflix. It's about
Let
a
us
guy
know.
who does this stuff. Sorry, I'm punchy. It's been a very long day. I've been up since 4:45.
Yeah, that's going to be our life because of the holidays. That's the nature of things. All right. I'm going to pass the mic on to Chief Sally. Did you need to share the screen or did you want me to put up the metrics?
Yeah, you share the first page.
Okay, let me grab it real fast for my downloads. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, great. It would be nice if I actually scrolled the right side. All right, here we go. Welcome, Mr. DeLuca. We were just going to go to Chief Sally's report and then come back to you. That way you have a minute or so to catch your breath and get your bearings.
Okay. No need to scroll down. Just
Yeah, if you
to
could
the right
zoom in
side
and
of the
scroll
chart
up so
there.
we don't see the robbery information.
Right.
Nope, in. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. That's all I need.
Oh, in.
So
Definitely in.
what happened? Okay, so if you look at the right side of the screen, the chart, 2023 compared to 2024, robberies are down. So last year in October, up to October, we had 9 robberies in 2023. Up to October 2024, we have 4. Aggravated assaults are it was 13 last year, 10 this year. Burglaries are slightly higher, 25 to 35. Thefts, as you see, has increased 174 to 223. Auto thefts have decreased slightly, 47 to 42. So those are the stats up to October. And as I was describing, pretty much over the whole year, is that we had those home evasion style burglaries that has hit everywhere in the state. The New Jersey Supreme Court put out a directive. It's Directive 13-24. Pretty much, just to summarize that, is that they added home evasion and residential burglary to their mandatory imprisonment. So there's a whole list of different crimes that is mandatory for imprisonment, and home evasion and residential burglaries have been added to that due to this amount of burglaries we're seeing. So that's been added to the list, and that's pretty much the update for the burglaries, and that's pretty much the crime up to October. Yeah, of course, the car thefts are the keys in the car running. The usually around this time of year, we have a lot of Amazon packaging and UPS and FedEx and package thefts, and we still have shoplifting on spring. So that's the increase. The aggravated assaults, are pretty much domestic violence. So how do we know that? Because we tend to because we arrested the people for that. It's pretty much all of them mostly cleared. So that's usually a, that's the indication that's a domestic violence.
Chief, in regards to the domestic violence, I know that there was the number and the additional training that went out to some of the officers and such for addressing those. Is there any kind of material that we could put out to the public, letting them know, hey, if you need to get away, or if you want to talk to somebody before things get too far, here's the numbers you should reach out to, just as another push, because this time of year is stressful for so many people. And I'm just wondering if there's something we can do to kind of, besides the gigantic one that's got all the details on it, maybe one geared specifically for DV, because that's got to
I can ask Sergeant Fields. He's in charge of our domestic violence response team, and she's a liaison down to the county, so she can get that information. We just graduated, as I said last month, 7 domestic violence response team volunteers. So they're out there as well. So we can get those documentations out.
Yeah.
And pick up some more.
And I guess once we get them, we can get them to some locations like near the fridge and the library and such, just so people have it handy. There's something else you had mentioned, it tickled my brain, and it was like, the package thefts. Has there been a push, or have there been any kind of clears utilizing like the Ring cameras and the different videos? Because my alarm system, for example, every time anybody steps on my top step, I get a notification. Do you want us to videotape and protect this package?
Yes. So we have made a few arrests, and also we use what we would get from the Ring cameras or whatever, what have you. We use that as evidence to try to make identifications.
Okay. Does anyone have any further questions for Chief Sally? Oh, all right. Thanks, Chief. All right, Mr. DeLuca, we're going to bring it back to you for any updates on our Essex Department of Fire operations.
Thank you. So we're on pace to probably get to about 4,500 incidents a year. Again, most of those are EMS, somewhere in the vicinity of over 40%. Most of the fires that we fought in the last in September, which is the last month I have, were outside the town, thankfully. So we're still doing a lot of mutual aid outside of town. We are, well, on the good side of the EMS billing, we will bring in, plus or minus $400,000 this year, which is a good number. And that helps cover our cost that we're charged for EMS services. So that seems to be working very well, the billing process, and that's good. Again, it's a third-party bill. We don't go after anyone whose insurance company or health coverage doesn't, a car insurance doesn't pay. So, but that if we can maintain that kind of revenue year after year, that will help a lot with how we assess our provision of EMS services. We also will be appointing 2 former Maplewood firefighters as provisional captains. It seems like we're moving forward with that. And so now we have a full complement of deputy chiefs, and we'll have a full complement of captains, which will help with some of the overtime.
Awesome. And they're fully staffed over at SEFD.
Well, I think now we may need to bring on a couple people. With civil service, it's quite different than when we were non-civil service as far as list management. So we're waiting for civil service to do their thing so that we can bring people on. But we have been doing interviews and been looking at prospective candidates. So we're probably down 1, if not 2 firefighters at the moment.
All right. And are they looking at a diverse group of candidates? Like
You know, this is,
women or any men, people
yeah,
of color?
it's a, you know, state civil service test. So, the way it works is that you can hire locally, which is what we would prefer to do. And I think the last person we hired off the list was from Maplewood. And then after that, you go to the county, and then after that, you go statewide. So, hopefully, you know, we have not seen the whole list yet. Until we bring people in, I don't believe they identify anyone by race. Um, but hopefully, we will get a more diverse. That has been the sort of the Achilles heel of the fire service for a long time. At least our fire service here.
Okay. All right.
That
And if I
and
could just
based on when-
piggyback one other thing, as you know, today we had a drill over at Winchester Gardens. They are going to make their emergency operations plan available to us so that we could review and give them any suggestions. So, Patrick and Chief, when we get it, you know, we'll get it to you, Chief, so you can have some of your officers take a look at it. You know, it's a fairly detailed plan. It's sort of like our emergency operations plan. And then we'll ask Chris Ariema over at SEFD to take a look at it and give them any suggestions we have.
Awesome. Because we don't want anybody going eloping.
You like that, eloping?
Uh, all right. Is that 4,500 that you'd listed as far as like EMS and fire calls? Is that about average? Is that a good number?
Yeah, that's about average. I think there was some expectation that it might be over 5,000, but it seems it seems that the way South Orange, when they were a separate fire department, counted their incidents is different than the way we did. So, now that we're all on the same page, 4,500 is about right. Maybe between 4,500 and 1,000, 5,000. Again, you know, it's actually 48% has to do with medical rescue, and you know, under 5% is fires, and that's a good thing. You know, we don't want a lot of fires.
True. All right. Well, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Committeeman DeLuca? All right. We're going to move on to the discussion items. Just really wanted to quickly check in, Chief, and for other folks on the committee who may have driven in the areas and stuff like that, get some feedback in regards to the status of the cones and the speed limit signs that are in the middle of the street. I've noticed that the ones on Parker haven't been destroyed yet, which is a good thing. The last time they went up, they were dead by the end of the month, but they're still there and they're actually still in place. So it does seem to be either because of the construction maybe that was going on down there and people started avoiding Parker or what, but it does seem that there's a little less erratic driving going on in the morning. Has that been kind of the feedback you've gotten from your officers, Chief?
Yes, I think the cones are good in these locations. I mean, it seems like it makes the road seem more narrow, and hopefully slowing, also with the traffic counter, hopefully slowing traffic down. So I think but I think Mr. DeLuca raised a point last time that, you know, if we can get some more uniformed traffic cones that are, you know, we got small, medium, large, and if we can just get a bunch of large cones and put them up, that would help.
Okay.
Patrick, I think we asked Paul to do that. Can
Yep,
you
we
follow
did.
up with him?
I can follow up on it.
I will say that if you're in the area of Oakview in the morning, it's bumper to bumper because you're not passing people on the right who are making lefts.
Oakland.
Oakland, is that what I said?
Oakland.
Oakland, yeah, Oakland and Prospect.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, you said Oakview, but
Oakland.
Yeah, but that was the intent. So that's good that it is.
It has slowed the traffic in the
Mhm.
mid part of.
Yeah.
It's almost like a
Closes that.
stop sign or even a light because of
Right.
just the way it is, people aren't going around.
Mhm.
And there has been no
Correct.
noticing of like once folks get past that aggressive like speeding up. My apologies. My dog walks around with her little heels clicking and it sounds like heels. Go to the carpet. Go.
Well,
So
it seems to be backed up all the way to get to Prospect and Tuscan, because you got the light there,
mhm,
and then once you get to Harvard, you got the four-way stop sign. So it's like constant stopping and
okay.
slowing.
But you haven't noticed as folks are like say making that crossover over Harvard that immediately the aggressive driving begins again. They haven't noticed.
No, I actually observed a illegal U-turn because somebody was impatient of waiting in traffic, and I stopped them. Like
Yeah.
that was the one time yeah.
Patrick's like, get him.
Will we see that on the report?
Well,
Would you give them a
that
warning?
being that we were a little tied up and I didn't have backup, I didn't have the equipment to issue, but they were given a strong warning for that.
Okay. One and
So,
done.
just if I could fill you in on Parker, we are installing a four-way stop at Parker and Suffolk,
Woohoo.
and that contract has been approved, and we'll be putting out either the end of this week or beginning of next week. We'll be putting out the electronic signboards that say traffic pattern changes coming in the next whatever, and then they will be doing the striping, and we're waiting for the push button, the high intensity push button signs, and then we'll have a four-way stop on Parker, which will dramatically change the traffic pattern there.
Okay.
It'll slow people down. It'll just calm everything on Parker, because it won't be a straight shoot, right, as it is now from essentially Boyden to Prospect.
Right. Now, Chief, will there be officers made available in the mornings when that first goes into effect, just to as an encouragement in addition to the stop sign and the flasher? So that
When we
folks
have officers
continue to run
available, our first concern is the traffic, the crossing guards and but if officers available, yes.
okay. Because there are probably some upset drivers who will not pay attention to those boards and will be shocked when they come down that hill. The first week that they experience it. Okay, thank you. So I don't know what all you can report back other than what you shared already, Chief, in regards to the car thefts. We had a gentleman come to the township committee meeting. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. Who had a concern about it and had asked questions in regards to like high-speed chases and why we don't and such. So I just really wanted to quickly, whatever you could share in regards to updates on what is happening. Whatever
Okay.
you can share.
Yeah, again, the directive we received is very important. So, so it makes it, once we have these type of burglaries, home invasion style, taking the car, that if we make an identification and we have enough probable cause to make the arrest, that will be on a warrant, and that person will have to be imprisoned. So that's a update that we received. Also, we have done just this month alone in December, we've done 4 home surveys where we have officers come out and speak to the residents who have been a victim of this burglary, how to make their home safer and hopefully potentially prevent this from happening. Also, we have officers. We know the locations that potentially this might happen, and we have officers in those locations around those certain times. Since November to December, burglaries have decreased. We haven't seen the great uptick that we had over the summer, so they have decreased. So I would like to say some of our efforts have lessened this. As far as pursuit, it's always a kind of risk reward situation. Most of these crimes are property crimes, and we do not want to pursue if it's not safe. So there's a lot of factors that go into a pursuit. the time of day, traffic, weather, potential apprehension of the person. The best thing we have is our radio and our dispatch to notify other towns that might be on our border that they can come and assist. So we're not chasing vehicles in other jurisdictions and on the highways and things like that, but we are getting out the information to other municipalities that will assist us in that. And our detectives are pretty good in getting information from other agencies and making identifications without the pursuit. We just need enough information from the plate and possible identification of who's in the car. Other than that, we don't want anybody getting hurt in a pursuit. I'm not just speaking of police officers, but residents. The resident who's driving down the street and doesn't know what's happening, and a car's going at a high rate of speed. We don't want that to happen. So that's why we restrict our pursuits.
That's good. Well, thank you. I'm glad that, and I'm hoping that the folks in the community hear that you are in communications with other departments. So it's not like the person crosses our border and they disappear in the ether, but there's somebody on the other side keeping eyes out for them and possibly even passing information to maybe the next town that they go into that the pursuit is being done, but it's visual, not physical.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I ask Chief a question?
Sure.
Chief, the AG order. So if you catch someone doing a home burglary, does that mean you hold that person until they appear before a judge, or do you give them a ticket with a court appearance?
Yeah, so we hold them. So we hold them. We issue a warrant. So a warrant has to be signed by a judge.
Okay.
And then they are in custody.
How long
That's
is it typically?
that's the change. How long is not. They have a formula, and I don't know how long it would be.
But it's not just a citation.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That's positive.
Yes.
I think there's a whole different animal when somebody breaks into a house.
Right.
Yes.
And it's also being applied juvenile wise, is it just adults? Because a lot of
but again, it's a formula with juveniles. So I'm not 100% sure with juveniles, but I know there's a formula they do when they put a juvenile in custody. And also, as far as these thefts, these burglaries, years ago, most burglaries were during the day. It was usually breaking in the house when nobody's there. Because most people pre-COVID were going to work, and then they would check the driveway, see if the car's there, ring the doorbell, make sure nobody's there, and then conduct the burglary. Here, we fortunately have not seen any of these people confront the homeowner, and once they are confronted, they do leave, and it's kind of like this, but it's at night, and they know people are in there, but they're just trying to go in there, get the keys, and come out without being detected. But still, that's the safety for that, because people are actually home. So I think that's why they changed that rule for this.
Very good. So the next thing on the agenda, social media and Facebook has taken off with a couple of items, in particular, the one in regards to the gentleman that is currently being held in custody for the shooting of the United Healthcare executive. Supposedly, this person had used an ID that had a Maplewood address, and all the rumors flew from the address doesn't exist to this person has no connection to Maplewood. Is there anything that we can share with the public to let them know what's happening and where they should be sitting in this, and that there is or isn't anything to look at?
Yes, we did checks on this, and the Maplewood Police Department has not had any contact with this person or any history with this person, or no firearm was issued to this person from us, or nothing, no contact. The New York City Police Department has not reached out to us regarding this investigation. So as far as we know, this is just a fake ID. Why he picked this address, we do not know. But no ties to Maplewood.
And the police department put out a statement to that end.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Mr. Wary and I had mentioned, or at least talked in the beginning about something that Mr. Daffis, Committeeman Daffis, who's unfortunately unable to be here tonight. I don't know if that's something we want to keep for executive, or should we bring it up here? What
The
are your,
discussion was on drones, and I don't mind discussing it here only because I think that everybody, including our law enforcement partners, had said publicly that they don't know where the drones are originating from, and asking the public that if you see pictures to report it to the FBI. Or I'm sorry, if you see drones, take pictures, report it to the FBI. But we know as much as the public knows, and I think that a lot of departments up to the Pentagon today, local sheriff's department, state police and Homeland Security, FBI have all said the same thing, that they're not sure where the drones originate or who's flying them, but asking for the public's help in taking pictures and submitting those to the FBI. And also, what the FBI has said, and what the governor said earlier this week, that there's no known threat from these drones, but it's obviously concerning.
all right, and Mr. Daffis had said that they were going to be issuing out some FAQs that we could use to share with the public in regards to what they can do, how to report it, and how to just stay calm. For starters, more than anything, stay calm. It's right now there doesn't seem to be a threat that they can identify, but err on the side of caution, take pictures like you had mentioned, and how to do it. I haven't received any emails, but I did hear some chatter on social media, and it's just kind of started, because mostly focused on North Jersey than us here in a bit of Central Jersey. Is there a Central Jersey? I mean, I guess it is us.
There is a formal. It became formal.
Okay, so are we in it?
No, we're north.
We're not. We're north. Okay.
So there was a meeting today, I think, of some elected officials. Chief, there's a meeting of chiefs tomorrow. Were you invited to that? It's at the Rock.
I did not know of that, but I'll
Yeah, that's what
involved.
the news said tonight, that tomorrow there's a meeting of chiefs. So
Yeah.
you might want to just, if you're not going to be there, find out from a colleague, what's going on. But I think that's exactly right. No one has answers at the moment.
Yeah, they gave they give out a number though, a drone tip line. Is 1-800 call FBI. 1-800 call FBI. Of course you can call us and we'll report it. We have a law enforcement reporting portal that we report this information to. So if we get calls, we will notify the bigger agencies.
All right, great. Mr. Airwood, would we put that out in our socials, that number? Or should we wait?
We can put it out next week with our community news email blast. We haven't seen any drones over Maplewood yet, and I think that number has been very well publicized. So I don't think there's an urgent need for us to put it out, but we can certainly get it out with next week's email blast.
Great. Cool. Any other questions? Is there anything anyone would like to bring up in discussion that I do not have on the agenda?
No, I just have
Do we have
something.
anything from the community board on police? We have a representative, I believe. Somebody.
Yeah, Tasha's
Yes.
here.
Tasha's here, right?
Tasha's here.
Tasha's here.
I can move her over so she can say hi
Yeah,
if
why
she
don't we
wants
do
to.
that and see if she has anything?
Yep.
Hey everyone, I don't really have anything to report,
There you go.
but I take any questions if you have anything for me. Let me know.
No, I think we're good. Thank you for being here. All right. Well, I would like to move as an executive. I don't know if there's anything additional in regards to thefts that you wanted to share with us, Chief. If there isn't, then maybe we don't need to go into executive.
I would like to go in and
I want to go
talk
in.
about some personnel stuff.
Okay. So, Mr. Ware, would we be able to?
But just before, I just want to, I just want to salute the officer who Saturday night I was driving down Prospect, and there was a pizza delivery guy behind me who was not pleased that I was going 25 miles an hour. So when we got to the stop sign at Prospect and Harvard, this guy who was behind me went around into the other lane and went past me. I was stopped at the stop sign. He went around me. And no sooner did we get past that than a cop flew out of Harvard with the lights on, I guess, because you have someone stationed there often on Harvard and Prospect. And what did I say? Yeah, Harvard and Prospect. And they nailed that person and explained that they weren't supposed to be doing that and whatever else. So it was a good police action.
And it wasn't me behind him delivering
No.
pizza.
That's near your house.
No, it wasn't you. I don't think you deliver pizza on the weekends.
Yeah, I don't have time.
Yeah, it's a side hustle. That's how she
I
pays for the
use a
cooking mix.
side hustle, but I don't have time.
Those Christmas cookies don't pay for themselves. All right, then. So we're going to move into executive. Mr. Ware, if you could start.
Just give me a moment.
All right.